Well, I am Chris Bruun. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I'm so glad to be able to talk to you today. I just love my work at TriCity Family Services. And there are many reasons for that, but I would specifically like to talk about the group that I see mainly because I can offer Medicare to them, the over 50 group and older and later life. Although I enjoy adults of all ages, I think that is a very special age group for me, primarily because I can count myself as part of that group, and so I guess I could say I'm an expert in that, as well as the fact that I can be very involved in a personal way with those folks. And the main discovery that I have made in working with older adults is quite astonishing to me, and it might be to you too. And that is that quite counterintuitively, quite unexpectedly, older adults have a great capacity for instilling optimism, that crowning virtue of personality that runs the show for people in successful living. And there are two reasons why that happens, and I'd like to share that with you because it's part of my enthusiasm about the work. One is that the recent brain research shows that to extreme old age, our brains literally grow new neurons, change the structure. Literally, our brains change themselves based on how we think. That is such a hopeful message that comes from science that it encourages people to think the kinds of thoughts that might bring those changes about. So, science, brain research, neuroscience gives us a lot of encouragement along that line. The second part is that as we all progress through life, we increasingly reflect upon our lives. And that is never more true than late life. And the developmental psychologist Erik Erikson said that in order to have a sense of ego integrity, those were his words, that's reflecting on your life in a positive way. And of course, people with whom I see, people you meet in later life, are going through challenges that they've never faced before and that are very difficult. So you might say, why is that a cultivating ground for optimism? Well, because there is a certain amount of value that comes from life reflection. And what I have found is that not only for my own self, but for others, we all tend to say as we get older, well, I think I've had a pretty good life. I think I have done a rather good job. Not that I haven't had difficulties, not that I haven't had painful situations, but overall, I think I've done the best I could, and I think I've done a good job. And when people think in that way, then that neuroscience comes in. It does change the brain and helps people do the very thing that they need to do, become optimistic. And I will just end going full circle with how I started. I love my work, love it. And I love working at TriCity, and the fact that I see that happening in older adults as we develop a therapeutic relationship is very exciting.